Welcome back to my home kitchen. Today's big little recipe is a super easy summer dessert. You just need one type of berry. I have strawberries, some cold cream, a little bit of sugar to sweeten the cream and the berries. And then to take it one step further, you can flavor cream with a million things like vanilla extract or bourbon, or you could pull in a spice like caraway. So if you're like me, your strongest association with caraway might be rye bread. That was my family's favorite bread growing up. We always had it in the house. Caraway is actually great in a lot of things besides savory contexts like bread. It's really, really nice in desserts. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of caraway seeds to a skillet. And we are just going to dry toast these for a few minutes. So what's happening here is the caraway seeds, which have been sitting in a jar for a while, it's just kind of waking up their flavor, right? So we want to really taste that caraway, and we're just kind of warming it up, loosening it up. And then when it gets into the cream, the flavor is gonna be so much more intense. Just like a really short step that makes a really big difference. Do you hear them popping?
Yeah, they're popping.
Do you think I'm just gonna lower the heat a little bit. You don't want them popping. That's probably too high. So to grind the caraway seeds, I like to use a spice grinder. So I mostly use this for black pepper. I just cleaned it out beforehand. You could, if you don't have a spice grinder, you could use a mortar and pestle. It'll take a little bit longer to get that super fine grind, but it'll work. We're just breaking down the spices so that they can disperse into the cream. I think they're ready. What do you think? Can you smell them?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to add them to the spice grinder along with a couple teaspoons of sugar. So a little goes a long way in this recipe. Most of the sweetness is gonna be coming from the fruit. So now that both of these are in here, I'm just going to blitz them. Okay, so I can still hear some grittiness. Basically, the texture that you're going for is kind of like cocoa powder. So it'll be a really soft brown and it'll be very smooth, right? Should we check?
Let's check.
All right. I think I'm gonna go a little longer. I always have caraway around. I often, if I am making bread or something bready, I love adding it to a dough. But let me know in the comments what you use caraway for. It is one of my favorite spices, and I think it can be used in so many ways. Okay, so you can see it has kind of like a cocoa powdery look. It is very smooth and soft. There are no whole seeds anymore. The sugar isn't grainy. All of which to say, it is ready to go into our cream. For that, I'm gonna grab, where's Baby Whisk? Oh, it's in the other drawer. Okay, wait. Baby Whisk. Okay, so I am going to stir in this caraway sugar into our cold cream. And then I'm just gonna whisk these together. And so to this, you can add, truly a cup of grains of salt. And they're just gonna make everything taste better. Be careful when you're whisking here. You wanna incorporate the caraway sugar, but you don't wanna whip the cream. So at this point, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stick the cream in the fridge, and then we can move on to the berries. So I have 12 ounces of strawberries here. This will be for 2 people. So I am just going to be lopping off the heads.
Off with your head.
Off with your head. You could slice them, you could have them, you could quarter them. It does not matter at all. Just try to make them even-ish. Now, if you are doing this with raspberries or blackberries, obviously adjust how you're cutting the fruit to what you're using. So maybe raspberries you keep whole, maybe blackberries you have some of them and leave others whole. So I have the remaining like tablespoon of sugar. So I'm just gonna add that to the berries. I am going to grab a pinch of salt here, and that's also gonna dry out their juices, which is exactly what we want. So I'm just gonna stir them together. I would say like at least 10 minutes, but it depends on your berry. Longer is not a bad thing at all. The longer it goes, the syrupy it'll get. Syrupy? Syrupier it'll get. But like, just go by what you want. If you want more syrup, keep it going. If you don't, eat right away. It's all good. In the time that we're waiting for these, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, get more recipe videos like this, more big little recipes, all 5 ingredients or less. And I will see you in 10. So now that our berries are all juicy and ready to eat, I am going to strain the caraway cream. So this is an optional step. If you don't strain it, you might get a tiny bit of that texture of those ground spices. If you're into it, go with it. I'm just gonna strain it so it's like super duper smooth. So I have a tiny little fine mesh strainer, hold it over a glass, and I'm just going to pour it in. So I'm just pressing on the solids here because that's where all the flavor is. So I'm just making sure that we get every last drop out. So our strawberries and caraway cream are all ready to eat. Our strawberries are really juicy and they're starting to get nice and soft. So I am just going to spoon them into the bowl and make sure that I get all their delicious syrup along the way. Then I just pour this on top and that's it. Strawberries swimming in a very generous puddle of caraway cream. This recipe is on Food 52. To see more recipe videos like this, let us know in the comments what you want to see. Like this video, and I'll talk to you next time.